Hey y'all, you're listening to This with Krish, the show where I like to talk about life, family, faith, freedom, and literally all the weirdly wonderful stuff in between. Now, I'm sorry I didn't get to post an episode yesterday. I took a rest day, but actually to work on our new website and some new partnerships. And the website is live now, thiswithkrish.com. We've got a number of cool things coming to the site and a bunch of cool things coming to the show. I think we looked at 250,000 streams, engagements across all social platforms and all of the places where you can listen to the podcast, which is now syndicated at over 100 streaming platforms. So that's pretty exciting. But today we're talking about Halloween, which is today, October 31st. It's Friday night. That's right. So it's officially the one night we willingly encourage our kids to take candy from strangers, right? Run wild in the dark, sleep past bedtime. Luckily, it's on a weekend night, kind of Friday night. And somehow we have to pretend like it's all so much fun for us parents. So let's get into it. Now, you know that feeling when your kids finally get home from school, right, on Halloween day, and they're just amped up and jazzed up. They've been talking about it all day. They have a sugar high that's already hit before the candy even arrives. They're like mini Tasmanian devils spinning around through the living room, through the house. One's yelling, "Where's my cape?" or part of their costume. Another one's crying because their face paint itches, and mommy and daddy just standing there thinking, how did we become the project managers of chaos? And let's be honest, Halloween with kids is a full contact sport. I think pretty much anything that you do with kids is a full contact sport, and if you know, you know. But here's the thing, right? This night is also and can be magical. And if you haven't heard the podcast I talked about, keeping faith at the center of the Halloween, then you'll be all right. And if you haven't, go back and listen to it. But look, if you grew up trick-or-treating, you know that feeling, right? The sound of the fall leaves crunching under your shoes, unless you're here in Dallas and there's not a whole lot of trees, where it still thinks it's early fall or late summer, I don't know. But the cool air, the smell of someone's bonfire, and those little paper bags. Now they have these really fancy baskets that just have a bunch of like candy, sugar dust on the bottom of it. You know what I'm talking about. But back when we were kids, we had pillowcases and we had paper bags. So whether you're a first-time parent trick-or-treating as a rookie, or a tenured, well-seasoned Halloween veteran with a tactical candy route mapped out, either with Neighbors, whatever the app is, or Google Maps. Look, I've got some tips and tricks and treats. See what I did there? To make tonight smoother, safer, and a little bit more fun. Also, before you head out, going door to door, be sure to eat dinner early, so you can get back after and tuck those little kids right into bed. And since it's Friday night, maybe you don't want to have to give them a bath. I don't know. But also, try to feed them dinner, right? Because feeding them dinner before is better than competing with all that candy and chocolate after trick-or-treating. I've got something to share with you guys, right? Something I've been saving for this specific episode. It's gonna help our post-Halloween sanity, right? So, the kids are gonna be wired after trick-or-treating. Dogs barking is gonna be crazy. So you could get this done before, because otherwise you're gonna have a part 2 of your horror story. So here's the thing, right? If you've been following me for a while, you will have likely realized that I am Indian. If you didn't know that, well, surprise. So I grew up eating delicious Indian food, Gujarati food to be specific, and Punjabi food, but with amazing spices and flavors. And, my mom would cook all these home-cooked meals. And I remember thinking, when I was a kid and watching my mom cook and stuff, I felt like it took for an hour. It was like all these ingredients, like hundreds of ingredients. It was crazy. Maybe not hundreds, but you know what I mean. My wife, on the other hand, who's Irish American and not Indian, loves Indian food, and probably even more than I do. And I love it, so that's saying something. She's obsessed with our friends at the Cumin Club. Okay, we've been ordering from them for well over a year. They make authentic Indian meal kits. They're ready in 5 minutes. No cooking skills required, no complicated recipes. My son doesn't eat Indian food all that much, but my daughter loves it, right? You just pour it, you stir it, and it's boom, it's done. Restaurant level Indian food. And if you live here in Dallas, where we are, there's no shortage of Indian food. So this is just as good, or if not better. We're talking dal, paneer, biryani. They have what was it? Butter chicken paneer. It was amazing. If you can customize your plans on their website however you want. No meal planning stress. No what's for dinner, which is a whole episode if you haven't watched it or listened to it. They've got flexible subscriptions that fit your schedule, your spice tolerance. It's awesome. So if you want to bring some flavor into your week or just need a recovery meal, kind of after chasing around those kids after tonight or whatever, go to cuminclub.com. Use the code ThisWithKrish for 30% off your order. That's right. You get 30% off your entire order. It's awesome. Because that's what we do here, right? We hook you guys up. Links in the bio. And it's also on our new website, thiswithkrish.com. And just click over to shop and you'll see it there as well. God, I don't even know why I started talking about that. But I like to go on rabbit holes. But that Indian food is amazing. And I think I'm actually hungry right now. So I might just whip some up. Okay, so back to Halloween. Okay, let's start with the safety tips. They don't have to sound, these safety tips don't sound like your HOA newsletter if you live in one of those. We fortunately do not live in an HOA, so thank God. So let's talk about candy, because, for as long as I can remember, there's always been a concern, okay? You've heard it before. Last year, there were several reports nationwide of THC-infused candies, and these are the gummies and things like that. Look exactly like Sour Patch Kids and Skittles. And what's unfortunate, these aren't illegal, right? Like you can literally go buy, if you're a bad actor, go buy them from a store, and maybe they get mixed up. I don't know how it happens, if it's a malintent or not. If it's not sealed, it's not real. Go through those candy buckets when you get home and throw out anything that's not sealed. And sometimes they can rip open. Throw them away. Before your kids start munching it, right, do that parent tax. Just kind of checking for poison while secretly eating some of the Twix and Kit Kats. At least those are my go-tos. Maybe Reese's is yours. Now, second, right, costumes. You're going to be out there trick-or-treating. It's getting a little bit cooler here in Dallas, but in the East Coast, it's pretty cool. Avoid long, flowy costumes, right? They might look amazing in pictures, but they're basically tripping hazards waiting to happen, okay? And I've seen it. People just face planting all over the sidewalk. Reflective tape is your best friend unless you enjoy losing your kid in a sea of Darth Vaders. Our neighborhood isn't so happening, but there are some neighborhoods that are super, super crazy, and you just want to be able to see your kid. Flashlights are very helpful. The time changes this Sunday. We're going to do some time traveling, apparently, but, it's starting to get darker earlier, so use a flashlight, a glow stick. If you're a little extra like me, maybe like an LED vest. I don't know. I'm not really going to do that. It's not just smart, but it's a power move, right? You'll look like the Secret Service for your little munchkins. Okay. Now, let's talk Stranger Danger 2.0. Okay. This one's for the first-time parents. If a house looks too dark, maybe avoid it, skip it, okay? If there's no pumpkin, there's no lights, no vibe, just keep walking. And remember, if you're in an area like we are with, there's a lot of young families with young babies, There's a reason. Sometimes I'll have a note. It's like, hey, baby's sleeping, but, you know, just don't. Okay? Have a group game plan. If, if you're going to a bigger neighborhood or with your friends or whatever, pack. Travel as a pack. Set boundaries. Nothing worse than realizing mid-block that little Johnny kind of followed little Elsa. Maybe Apple tags are a pretty good idea as well. We'll probably do Apple tags ourselves. A bonus tip, write your phone number on a Sharpie on your kid's candy bucket or inside the costume tag or whatever. You might not need it. I hope you don't ever need it. But look, if chaos hits, that move is elite, okay? Let's talk to rookie parents out there for another second or so, or a couple of minutes. This might be your first Halloween in the field, and I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to give you some good tips here, because I know you've probably been prepping those costumes for weeks and ordering bits and pieces or going overboard off of Amazon, and your toddler, I bet, looks like an adorable pumpkin or a tiny firefighter. Today I saw one that was dressed up as a baby shark. It was the cutest. But here's what you didn't plan for. The toddler meltdown. And it's a real thing, you guys. Maybe you're lucky and you get halfway down the block because before they just let loose on you, okay? They're going to have bathroom emergencies, okay? Then there's not going to be porta potties in your neighborhood, just so you know. I don't know if you knew that. So, if you're in a large neighborhood, you could be mile away from your house. And so make sure they use the bathroom before they leave the house. But if they're toddlers, just make sure maybe you have an extra diaper in one of the diaper bags. I don't know, right? Just have something ready to go. If you have a stroller, you have extra room to store things. The costume regret, right? Mommy, I'm hot, or mommy, I'm cold, or mommy, I want to be a princess and not a witch, or whatever it is. Pro parent tip, bring backup clothes. The toddler's not going to care, by the way. I mean, the baby's not going to care, but the toddlers, they're sneaky. Sometimes they get super itchy and sweaty, and so maybe have one of those like pumpkin t-shirts, a skeleton t-shirt, whatever it is, that they can take their costume off and still be kind of festive. I don't know. I don't know. That's definitely what you ought to do. And remember, it's not a competition, right? You don't have to hit every single house. You're not trying to win a marathon, okay? You're trying to make a memory. And when they're small, like you can literally go to like a couple of houses and then call it a night. What I have noticed is like if you stay out too late, then all the high schoolers and the bigger kids and more scary costumes come out. And that's not really fun for the kids. If your kid looks up at you in their little dinosaur outfit and says, "Daddy, this is the best night ever," you'll forget all about, the pain and the chaos and just the migraine you have, right? And the candy wrappers inside of your shoes. It's not all for nothing, okay? For my seasoned parents, I figure I'm a seasoned parent now, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. For all of you that have been running Halloween operations like this for years, I know y'all have routes, you have maps, you know which houses give out the full-size bars and sometimes dollar bills and $5 bills or whatever, and which ones hand out Bibles, which is also okay, God bless them. Let's upgrade your operation this year. So I've got some pretty good tips. I'm in no way a pro, but I feel like I've got this down. I think my wife would agree. Start early. Hit the big houses first. Once your kids' buckets are 70% full, detour to the less crowded streets, and that's where the good stuff is left over. You knew this. I knew you knew this. So you're looking at me like, Krish, what else you got? Okay, what about have a stash rotation? When you get home, sneak 20% of their candy into your secret parent stash, okay? This isn't theft. It's called resource management is what we call it in our home, right? Because otherwise, if you like Kit Kats and Twix, you ain't going to see any of them. there's a good chance your little mini-me's, they like to eat the same candy as you, and they won't share. Just saying. Doesn't matter how much you've taught them about sharing. So anyway, 20%. That's it. What about, it's a trade economy, okay? You have multiple kids. We only have 2, but when you have 3 or whatever, establish a candy trading system. You basically teach them capitalism, right? 2 Twix for a Kit Kat, maybe, right? The great candy freeze is another thing that I suggest. Take some candy, throw it in the freezer, and save it for December, right? And it's instant movie night snacks and things like that during the holidays, which is always fun. And then there's a healthy hack, right? Because, gosh, the candy, I don't have a sweet tooth. I like some chocolates, and I'm very picky. But that candy, like, you're gonna have to pay for braces and fillings and all this stuff. Let them binge a little bit tonight and tomorrow, but then put the rest away. It's actually better than spreading sugar chaos for 2 weeks, and then that being the reason why they needed they got a cavity. Okay, let's hit you with some Halloween trivia, because I personally, if you've been watching any of the episodes, and hopefully you'll get bookmark the website and check out a lot of the content that we got coming up there. But I love my stats. Okay, so the average child collects between 3,500 and 7,000 calories worth of candy on Halloween night. Y'all, that's like 3 entire Thanksgiving dinners. Over 73% of kids say Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are their number 1 pick, which proves even 8-year-olds have good taste. And lastly, and by the way, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the only peanut butter chocolate anything I'll ever eat, and I don't eat a lot of them, but they're good. And get this, Americans will spend $12 billion on Halloween each year. That's costumes, candy, decor, and most of it is purchased in the final 72 hours, right? Because procrastination is an American national pastime. And another quick tip, you want some discounts on Halloween stuff? Go tomorrow on Saturday and go buy it for next year. You'll get 50% off everything. Okay. I want to give you guys some Halloween dad jokes. Actually, I got them from my kid. At least one. Okay. Maybe 2. One was, why did the ghost go into therapy? Because he couldn't get over his exorcisms. And number 2, why don't mummies take time off? They're afraid to unwind. And by the way, I don't really like Halloween that much. I do like to dress up with my kids and have family matching costumes. But I will say, so these things on the desk, if you can see them, they're in the frame, they're like Halloween gingerbread houses. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, Mimi and Popeye, made them with my kids. And I don't like this stuff. It's messy. I'm too ADHD for this stuff. But those are some cool memories. So even if you don't like Halloween, and your in-laws do, and your kids do, then let them gel and vibe, okay? Don't get in between it. Look, kids won't remember how much candy they got, or if their wings ripped halfway down the street, or their costume broke. They'll remember you and your spouse walking with them, laughing, maybe dressing up as a Batman or as a taco, holding their hand in the dark under those orange street lights, right? I even dressed up as Zach Galifianakis one year when my daughter was a baby, and I had anyway, it was the whole thing. It was pretty cool, from the movie Hangover. So tonight, slow down. Take those pictures and videos. Say hi to your neighbors. Let the kids run a little while, not on the street, right? Childhood goes fast. And Halloween, thankfully, goes a little faster. But someday, they won't want to dress up or hold your hand. They'll be the ones handing out the candy. And you'll miss this chaos. I know I will. Anyway, so embrace it. Oh, you got to think about that, right? Like how fast time goes. You know, if you watch the miniseries and how fast 11 years went from those the mountain climbs, and I will be doing another miniseries soon around another part of the Step Up Be a Voice challenge. So stay tuned for that. That's all I've got for today. Enjoy tonight. Remember, go to Cumin Club to check out some of the Indian food because it's awesome. But have a safe, fun night. And if you see another parent stealing a Twix or Kit Kat or even a Reese's out of the kid's bag, turn the other way, man. Just mind your business. All right. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen. Again, we're now syndicated over 100 streaming platforms. YouTube and Spotify is where I upload first. But wherever you get your podcasts, all right? Share with another parent who needs a good laugh tonight. And don't forget to check out thiswithkrish.com as we are going to have our official launch here soon, but it is all up and running. And happy Halloween, everyone. And as always, love y'all. Thanks for tuning in.